Hi, my name is Maya, and welcome to the 5th and last episode of the Summer Knitting Journals. I know I said I was going to publish this episode on Wednesday, and right now it's Friday. But for very obvious reasons, I couldn't film earlier because I completely lost my voice during the festival, which was epic. It was amazing. I had a ton of fun. It was, just absolutely perfect. Except there was a lot of dust because we have been going through a heat wave and it hasn't rained in more than 2 weeks. And it was really high altitude, so the air was dry to begin with because it was high altitude. And also the ground was just this kind of dusty earth that just flew everywhere because people were walking and dancing and moving around a lot, and it was very windy. So basically there was a cloud of dust below the tent where the stage was, and I basically was breathing dust for 10 hours straight, and my lungs are destroyed. And it was a festival, and I was shouting and I was talking to people with the super loud music, so all in all, I lost my voice. And so that was on Saturday, and I hoped by Wednesday my voice would be better, but it wasn't the case. Yesterday it was still kind of like today, but I think by now this is the best I can get, and it's gonna take 1 or 2 weeks until I get my real voice back, so there's no point in waiting anymore to film this last episode. So we're just gonna have to go with my 80 years old smoker voice. And some people say that broken voice like this sounds sexy, so maybe we're gonna just go with that and say that I have my sexy voice for today. Anyway, I do have a lot of things to tell you, so I have my list again. I'm gonna rapid fire through them because if I speak for too long, it's gonna get painful, so I'm gonna try my best to be fast. So, regarding the bug infestation thing, I did take out all the boxes with my clothes, and no, wait, before I start, I did film during the past few days, so from Monday through today, so I did film during the whole week, a few clips here and there, but I'm gonna show that after this part, so everything I talk about now, you're probably gonna see clips of or B-rolls later, just so you know, this is coming, but you probably saw that in the intro already. Anyway, I did take all the boxes out, and it took ages because my balcony, terrace, whatever is pretty small, and I didn't really know how to set everything out so that it would be airing enough and in the sun. So anyway, it was a mess. It took ages, and I did find a ton of little dead skins of larvae things in one of the coats, and somebody told me it's carpet beetle larvae, which is gross, but it's nice to know because actually I've been dealing with those for years, because in my old apartment, which was completely infested everywhere, in the ground, in the ceiling, in the walls, there was insects everywhere, and I couldn't do anything about it because it was in the apartment. But when I left, I guess I took some of them with me, but I never had issue with holes in my garments or anything. It's just that sometimes I find bugs inside my stuff, and that's all. So I'm not that precious about my things. And if I sometimes have an encounter with a living being, well, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. I haven't taken anything in yet, so it's been out there for a whole week. But it's been raining for the last 2 days, and now it's finally sunny again. So I'm letting everything dry because it was a little bit humid because of the rain, and I will take everything in tomorrow. And hopefully it should sort the issue. And if I still find some bugs in the future, it's not the end of the world. It's okay, it's just a few coats, and they have been in those boxes for years, and I haven't found anything outside of those boxes, so I don't think they are suddenly going to start spreading. If they haven't done it in the last year and a half, they are not going to start today. Anyway, that's for the bug situation. So taking out the boxes took so much time that I didn't have the time to go through the hoodie grading because I wanted to start knitting on it during the festival. I mean, not during the festival, but during the car rides and the downtime and everything. So I didn't take that. However, I needed to take some knitting with me, and I did take my muscle tank, but I also took an emergency cast-on. And where is it? That's something super small, much smaller than the muscle tank, so that I could have it with me during the festival. And I actually finished it. So this is a new cast-on and a finished object. I had some leftovers of this yarn from a summer top I knit, and it's precious yarn because it's handspun. It's a blend of viscose and silk, I think. And it's a gorgeous handspun yarn, and I really wanted to use everything I had. And I wanted to do like a ribbon that I could tie around my ponytail or something. And I tried the first time, but it didn't work out. So what I took was the work in progress and the rest of the yarn, and then I unraveled everything, and I started over by doing just a garter stitch thing with some increases and decreasing on each side, and I just knit until I almost ran out. Actually, I had to redo the end 3 times because every time I ran out of yarn before I finished the tip. Because I really wanted to have a tiny bit of leftover, because I would like to lengthen the straps of the summer top I did with this yarn, so I needed to have a little bit left. And it's done, so all I need to do is block it, because I really don't like how it looks like this, as a ribbon, as a hair ribbon. I don't like this look at all. However, like this, I think it's super cute. So I'm gonna block it very aggressively, and since it's viscose anyway, it is gonna block out a ton. Yeah, so that's my finished object, very unexpected, but I did keep this leftover around so that I could have it as an emergency cast-on, and it was just perfect. It was super portable, super mindless, super easy, and I'm just so happy I had this. So that was a perfect call from me. And then I took my muscle tank with me. I did a ton of progress, so I joined in the round. I finished the front panel, I joined in the round, and I knit all of this on the body. And I finished my 4th skein, and I have 5, so the 5th one and the last one is here. And I'm gonna pick up and knit the collar. I don't have anything left to do for the edges because they stay raw like this. And then I'm gonna finish everything I have left for the body. And then it's gonna be done. I'm super happy I did so much progress. It was mainly during the car rides because there was about 2 hours drive from my boyfriend's place to the festival. And then on Friday evening, I did knit a lot as well. And then during Sunday, because the hangover was real, it was pretty bad. So yeah, during Sunday, I really didn't want to think or have to like grade the hoodie to knit it. I just wanted to knit in around. And this is when I did most of the body. And it was just absolutely perfect. Now, regarding the hoodie, no, before, I did block the white days. And now the sleeves are perfectly equal and long enough, and I'm just so pleased with this one. It looks like a basic, it looks very like, how do you say that? Yeah, basic, because it's just a white cardigan. But I think the shaping is just so good and it fits me so well, which is so rare for me. And yeah, I think it looks very polished, but easy at the same time. Where is the buttonhole? And I'm just super happy about this. With my long sleeves that cover my hands, even if I move around, this is long enough. And then when I'm standing, it looks like this. So they go pretty low. And if I ever put a coat on, I'm still gonna have the wrist that's covered, which is what I want. I'm just so happy. And yes, the test is underway. And everybody is enjoying it and having fun, and yeah, just good news. I'm just so pleased. Anyway, I'm super hot. It's hot again today. Now, regarding the hoodie, I did find a name. I finally decided on a name because Flappy Hoodie was fun, but it's really like, I don't really take myself very seriously, but I take my work as a knitwear designer pretty seriously, and calling a design Flappy Hoodie is a bit too much of a joke and borderline disrespectful towards my work. No shade to you if you ever call your pattern flappy something, but yeah, for this design, it was a pretty serious thing in my mind, and I thought, yeah, flappy hoodie was just not serious enough. But the new name I have in mind is kind of in the same vein, but it's a serious version, kind of. Anyway, without further ado, the name I decided to go with is Shady Hoodie. Because first, it's super fun to say, and it sounds so good, and it like rolls off of the tongue so well. Shady Hoodie. Yeah, that's the first reason. And then the yarn I used is nightshades, so it's kind of a subtle, how do you say that? Dédicace to the name of the yarn, even though you're not supposed to use this yarn, you can totally substitute it for something else. But yeah, nightshades, Shady Hoodie, I thought it was just very fitting. And also because the flappy detail here is gonna cast shade over the rest of the garment. And it's one of the things that make them beautiful, is the fact that you're gonna have depth in the garment because of this detail that's gonna stand out. And I just think shady is good. And also just the fact that wearing a hoodie like this is something that shady people often do, and I found that pretty funny. I'm not 100% sure shady hoodie is not immediately gonna make you think of something negative, because shady is usually associated with negative personalities, I guess. But yeah, I hope it's not gonna be perceived too negatively. If you have an opinion, of course, tell me. But yeah, for now, I really like the name Shady Hoodie, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna go ahead with it. Now, as you can see, I did finish the shoulders, because on Monday, when I got my brain back, but I couldn't talk still, I did grade the thing, and I cast on my sample. Again, I did a huge mess to make a different size on the front and on the back, but I made it work, and this is using the Ziggurat method. But I made it slightly different, because with the usual Ziggurat, you cast on all the stitches on the back, and then you work the back shoulder on one side, and then you work the back shoulder on the other side with short rows, and then you pick up stitches on one half of the shoulder, and you also work shoulder shaping, so the slope of the shoulder with short rows on the front, with the front neck, and then you do the same on the other side while picking up whatever. All of this so that you have the shoulder seam, so where you pick up the stitches of the shoulder, in the middle of the shoulder. So just like any store-bought t-shirt or garment has, usually the seam of the shoulder is in the middle. But that means you have to do the shoulder shaping, so the slope with the short rows, on both the front and the back, which is not a problem. I've done a lot of designs this way, but I realized if you do the European shoulder construction, you only do this on the back, and you push the seam that's supposed to be on the top of the shoulder to the back. You don't do the shaping on the front, and the shaping happens naturally because of the way the fabric is folding. If I can take a little piece of paper. So if you do a classic drop shoulder design without any shaping, it's like a rectangle of fabric, and you have a hole at the top, and then the two sleeves that just stick out from the edge like this. But the fit is not great. If you want a great fit, you can do a ton of stuff, but one of the things you should do is shoulder shaping. So you should have a slope on the shoulder like this. So with the first option that I mentioned, where you do the shaping on both front and back, the seam of the shoulder, so if I unfold this paper, the seam of the shoulder is on the top. So if we say this is just the shoulder, you angle it like this, and you do the short rows on the front and on the back, so that it's angled and follows the slope of the shoulder like this. But with the European shoulder construction, if you only do the shaping on the back, and you push this seam from the middle of the shoulder all the way to the back, how am I going to show this? If I open this paper like this, so this fold is the seam, okay? Because my paper was folded in half and I unfolded it, so this is the seam. Now it's angled because this is where I did the short rows on the back for the seam that's going to be down here. And then you pick up from here, and if you need straight, without doing any shaping here, you're going to end up with a piece of rectangular fabric that sticks out exactly in this direction, just as I'm showing you. But if this is on the back, and you fold the fabric over the shoulder like this, look what happens. It's in this direction. It's not angled that way anymore. It's perpendicular to the fold on the back, which means you don't need to do the shaping a second time, because the way the fabric folds is going to naturally make it fold in the direction you want it to, which is very neat. And this happens because if I take it like this, so this is the seam on the back, if I fold it around the shoulder like this, and then the neck, I put this paper on my shoulder and I put the fold on the back like this, the neck hole is only in this straight section. So when you pick up, it's exactly the construction I have in this. This is also the muscle tank, by the way. The seam is on the back here. You pick up, you need absolutely straight. So there is no shaping in this section because this is the part of the neck that's straight. And then you start the shaping here, only on the front. And by this time, the fold here has already folded the fabric right in the correct direction, which means it's going to follow the neck like this. I'm not sure why I'm explaining all of this, but anyway, the ziggurat method, usually you have the seam in the middle of the shoulder and you do the shaping on both front and back, which does the same. It's just going to angle the shoulder slope like this. But what I did is I pushed the seam to the back and I knit a long section. It's black, so it's going to be difficult to see, but so this is my neck like this. This is the seam from where I picked up, and I knit the back panel until here. So the seam is here, and I knit the back panel until here. And then I turn, I picked up 2 stitches here, and I picked up all the stitches here to knit the front shoulder. I knit straight without shaping here. I knit straight without shaping here. So I just knit, this is just a rectangle of fabric. From where I picked up here, this is just a rectangle of fabric. And then I went back, I knit through the whole row, and then I picked up all the stitches along the side here until I joined the seam again. And I had picked up 2 stitches earlier here, so I knit those 2 stitches, and then I got back onto my back panel stitches which were waiting here, and then I did the whole process again on the other side, which means I only had to do the shoulder shaping once. It's just easier. It's just easier that way. So I'm pretty happy about that. It's a pretty neat solution to make things easier, and it worked like a charm. At least for now, it's fitting great. It's fitting great, and I'm very happy about how it's going. And I think I should start with the raglan increases at the underarm pretty soon. Until now, I have only been increasing on the sleeve, but now I'm almost to the separating point, so I'm just gonna do raglan increases for like this much. So increase on both the body and the sleeve. And then I'm gonna separate for the sleeves and body and knit the body separately. So this is where I'm at. I finished the first skein. I'm gonna have more than enough yarn, so that's good. And then I think once I separate body and sleeves, I'm gonna pick up for the hood immediately, so I can be sure it fits the way I want. And yes, that's it. Oh, I forgot to tell you something about the festival. You probably noticed that I actually changed outfit, because I said I was gonna wear the outfit I was wearing during the last episode, episode 4, which was a white top with my skitter skirt, the blue one. And then if you saw the b-roll of the festival, I was wearing a matching set. So I had the blue top as well. And what happened is that when I was on the terrace going through all my garments and putting them down in the sun, I was so hot and I started sweating super bad. And the white top is knit using Knitting for Olive cotton merino. And this yarn is itchy when it's negative ease. So this is also Knitting for Olive cotton merino, but it's positive ease, so that one is okay. I can still feel it a little bit, but it's perfectly bearable. But the white one is negative ease, so it started being super itchy and uncomfortable, and it was, I just couldn't. So I had to change into something else. And this blue top, it's right here actually, is something I test knit, and it's using the same yarn as the skirt. And it's just a very, like, there is almost no fabric at all, which is perfect because I knew it was going to be so hot. So it has an open back. and you close it with the ties. I added a ton of ties because in the pattern there's like, there is no chance it can stay on your body. So I have added a lot of ties, I have modified it. But like this, it's super cute and it stays perfectly on your body. And I'm just so happy I did that because that way I had my back free and I could sweat without having any fabric touching my back, which is a part that I really don't like, having fabric clinging to me. So this was perfect. And it was a matching set, which is super cute. I never do that, but I'm super happy. I got so many compliments and I was like, hey, I need my skirt myself. Yeah, it was super cute. I'm glad I didn't keep the white top because it was so dusty that we are all absolutely disgusting and covered in dirt after a few hours. And I didn't take a picture of my clothes after the festival, but let me tell you, they were disgusting. Like the difference in color between the inside and the outside was, it was mega gross. And actually, even if I wash them in the washing machine, the machine washing, washing machine, they are still a little bit dirty. I couldn't make all the dirt go away. If I don't say it, you don't notice it, but I know it's there and I can see the stains. But anyway, it's too late now. And yeah, I think that's all I wanted to say, which is good because I'm tired of talking. I think it's a good way to finish the vlogs series because, this one is finished. The test call is done. The test is underway. I did good progress on this one and it's what I wanted to do. I didn't want to finish it. I even had a surprise finished object. I did do a tiny bit of spinning. I'm going to show you later. I did a lot of progress with you on the Shady Hoodie, so that's good. And found a name. I also published, I completely forgot to tell you that I published a design yesterday. I published the Nuit Blanche tee. It came out on Ravelry and Payhip, and you can get it for 50% off until Sunday. Sunday is going to be the 24th of August, end of day, Central Europe time. If you use the code NUIT, Happy Nuit, on both Ravelry and Payhip. I'm going to have all the links in the description box below. And I hope you will enjoy this one. I'm super proud of this t-shirt, especially the testers versions. I'm like so impressed that it fits everyone so well. It was the point. I did put a ton of shaping in that one because I wanted the fit to be excellent, despite it being a very oversized drop shoulder. And some testers knit it with less ease, like 0 ease, or even someone has negative ease, I think. And it fits them perfectly. And someone did a super oversized version, and it's just so incredibly cool. And I knew it would fit with the intended ease, but I wasn't expecting the fit to be so good with less ease or more ease. It's like you can go in every direction. It's the most versatile pattern ever, and I didn't even do it on purpose. And now I want to make myself all the versions. I want to make a tight t-shirt, I want to make a super oversized version, I want to make a dress, I want to make a long sleeve version. It's just gonna work for everything. So if you need a very versatile basic t-shirt pattern, just get the Nuit Blanche. You can also easily take out the tuck detail on the sleeves if you don't like it. And the sleeve is this detail I was mentioning where the seam is in the middle of the shoulder and you do the shaping on both the front and the back. It is a little bit more complicated because you need to do the short rows twice. However, the seam is on the middle of the shoulder, which is a look that I slightly prefer compared to having the seam on the back. But this is black, so I don't care. And if it's not something too oversized, I like having the seam on the back, but I just don't like this look when it's something very oversized, because when there is a lot of positive ease, if the seam is on the back, I find it gives kind of a it's not fitting properly look. It looks like the thing is kind of sliding on the back, whereas if it's fitted on the shoulder like this, or like this is gonna be, I think the position of the seam is a little bit less critical. It's just my opinion. Anyway, it's a great fitting t-shirt. And I did that. And also regarding my personal life, my dad got his last surgery yesterday, or 2 days ago, I don't remember. It was pretty complicated, but now it's fine and it's finally done. It's behind him and he's gonna come home tomorrow. And we're gonna go with my boyfriend to install the handrail in the stairs. and hopefully he's gonna recover pretty soon. But that's also kind of finished, sorted. And regarding my hip, it's much better. If I stay sitting for long hours, I can feel it starts to hurt, and at the end of the day, if I spend the whole day sitting, it's kind of painful. But other than that, it's completely gone. I went climbing yesterday and I didn't feel anything. I didn't take any footage because it was very crowded. It was raining like crazy, so everyone was at the climbing gym. So yeah, I couldn't film anything, but it wasn't very interesting anyway. And yes, that's all. So that wraps up the summer knitting journals for this year. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate all your comments, and it was so funny to see people just being here day after day, episode after episode, and kind of living along with you my adventures during this month of August. Yeah, I just had a really good time, and the editing was a lot of work, but it wasn't as heavy duty as I thought it would be. I still had time to do other stuff next week. I mean, I did a test code, I published a pattern, and I designed the whole thing, so I guess I still had some time to do other things, which makes me think that there is a world in which I can maybe do Vlogmas. I'm not sure yet. We're gonna have to see, but yeah. Thank you so much for your presence, for being here, for your support, for everything, for your likes. Don't forget to subscribe if you don't want to miss out on any future content I may put out. And if you want to hear my real voice, because yeah, it's so much better already. If you could hear me at the beginning of the week, it was horrible. Good thing I don't go out often and I don't talk a lot, because it allowed my voice to hear faster, I think. But I'm losing it right now, so I have to stop it here. So I hope you will enjoy the vlogs of the last week, and yeah, hope to see you again probably next week in a regular podcast episode. And until then, happy knitting. I love you. Bye.